Yes, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe. Comments and requests and all the rest of it down there. And another thing, people asking me, how can you buy the book without going to Amazon? The book like these, there's 3 of them in the series. Well, you can actually order them from me, and I will sign them and send them on, to your address. If you want one, just send me a message down below, and we can sort it out. Anyway, I'm going to talk today about the problems with the prisons and people who are going to prison and don't come out. In other words, the people that die in prison. Yeah. In the last full year on record, which being 2023, there were 311 deaths in prison. 93 of these deaths were self-inflicted deaths. They were people who committed suicide. There was also 4 murders in HM prisons. Now, it strikes me that 311 out of approximately, I think there's in all Scotland, England, Wales and Northern Ireland, there are approximately 89,000 inmates in the prisons. And 311 deaths out of that. The average age, you would wonder, what's the average age? Were they old men? No, I did the research. I've done my research, And don't take my word for it. Do your own research if you doubt it. Please do. The average age of all the inmates that died in the prisons in 2023 was 47 years of age. Now, the average life expectancy of an adult male in the United Kingdom, in Great Britain, is 79 years. But the average age of death in HM prisons, 47 years, 311 deaths in 2023. And so you think, that's not the average age of inmates. They're all younger than that, mostly. Well, they're not, really, because I've checked and my research indicates that the average age of all male inmates is 36 years of age. 36. Don't forget we've got some old people who had some old people in there. People like Rolf Harris, who was in his early 80s, and Max Clifford, who also died in prison, by the way. He was in his late 70s. But the problem that you've got is that the prisons are hardly places of safety. There's a great deal of drugs, and indeed in the news today they're talking about the problems with drugs in a prison called HMP Kirkham. Now, HMP Kirkham is an open prison, category C, and inmates are, generally speaking, working in there, but they're now saying that because they've got about 680 inmates in there at the moment, I believe, that there is insufficient work for them to do. They're just lying around bored all day, and so they're managing to acquire substances to while away the time. If it was me, I'd read, or listen to music, but or classical music anyway. But not the inmates of Kirkham. They're opting for opium or opium derivatives. Yeah, certainly it's one way of doing your bird, I suppose. So that's basically what I'm trying to say today, is that prison is a dangerous place. It's where people go, and some of them just do not come out. They despair. There is a great deal of depression amongst inmates. You can understand why. They're separated from the families, sometimes for the most ridiculous things. Failing to pay a fine. We've been through all this. and they end up in prison because they're poor. People stealing milk and ending up in prison, it's hardly going to improve their lot in life, is it? And you're not going to rehabilitate somebody who is in their 70s, who managed to get themselves before the magistrates for stealing the basics in life. That's food, milk, water, whatever they're stealing. So the prisons are not the answer. They're talking today, this government, about creating 4 super prisons, and within the next 5 years they're going to add an extra 14,000 prison places. They're playing at. Who are they locking up? I keep saying this. Who are they locking up? You and me. That's who they're locking up. They're not locking up the real perpetrators of crime in this country. I mean, let's have a look at Prince Andrew. I mean, there's a guy who his mother, the Queen at the time, a very dear lady I believe she was, Queen Elizabeth II, she paid over £1 million to get him off the hook. Over £1 million, yeah. He'd been a close associate, staying at the home of Epstein, the convicted sex trafficker in America, and no doubt had numerous times visited Epstein's sex island, where he was trafficking in and persuading teenage girls to practically prostitute themselves for his clientele, and some big names in that clientele as well. We won't go into them here, but one of them was certainly Prince Andrew. And today, what do we see in the news? One of his personal associates, a Chinese gentleman, has been restricted from entering the United Kingdom because, according to MI6, this man is a spy, and openly boasting on his website and on the internet that he can gain is the people who are subscribing to his empire. He can gain them access to the highest echelons of British society through his connection with Prince Andrew. Doesn't it make you proud to be British? Hey, member of the royal family there, selling his backside to the Chinese. Prisons where you go in and die. Listen, if you want one of my books, just let me know down below. I'll sign you a copy and post it to you. That's how it works. I spoke to Sean Atwood and that's what he suggests. Other than that, you can get them from Amazon. Now, seeing as we're talking about death in prison, I think it's quite a place of heartbreak. So it's a special treat today for all of you fans of my singing. That's a song dinger, by the way. I've still got it here. There you go, folks. The song dinger. Yeah, that's a warning. Yeah, so you've not heeded the warning, you're still hanging around. So here we go. I'm going to sing you a song originally by Elvis Presley. Well, it was not originally by Elvis Presley. He covered the version. Mama Thornton, I believe it was, who originally did it in America. But this is Elvis had the massive international hit. The breakthrough single for Elvis Presley was Heartbreak Hotel. And I'm going to sing you my version of it now, which isn't really singing, it's going to be a torture, so stand by for action. Are you sitting comfortably? Well, since my baby left me, I found a place to dwell. It's down at the end of Lonely Street at Strange Ways Hotel. Well, I'll be, you bet you're so lonely, baby. Well, I'm so lonely. You'd be so lonely you could die. Although strange ways is always crowded, you still can find some room for broken-hearted lovers to cry there in the gloom. They'll be so lonely, yeah, so lonely. They'll be so lonely they could die. Now the bellhop's tears keep flowing, the desk clerk's dressed in black. He's been so long on strange ways, they'll never look back. And they get so lonely, baby. Well, they're so lonely. Yeah, they're so lonely they could die. Well, now, if your baby leaves you, you got a tale to tell. Just take a walk to strange ways, to Heartbreak Hotel, where you will be. You'll be ever so lonely, baby. Well, you will be lonely. You will be so lonely you could die. Although strange ways is always crowded, you still can find some room for broken-hearted lovers to cry there in the gloom. Well, they'll be so lonely. They'll be so lonely. You'll be so lonely you could die. There you go. Heartbreak Hotel, Strange Ways. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe. Comments, insults, requests,